Like, everything's fine, nothing to see here, they're good. Just keep on repeating their record.
Oh, it would be boring.
Like, it would be. It would be. It would be boring as some of these offensive possessions that the Broncos have had. And so right now they're very much a Jekyll and Hyde football team. The backbone of this team is the defense. It's not close. It's not debatable. And they need to get it figured out. If they want to do what Sean Payton talked about so boastfully doing in the preseason, or even come close to it, let's just start with winning a playoff game. Like, they have to fix this offense. Bo Nix and this passing offense, it's got to get better, Phil.
Well, you know what, Zach? You said something earlier, our first segment. Things have to get better for the offense. Let's start with getting our number one receiver involved.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Let's get Courtland Sutton involved a lot more than what we're doing. Give him 8 targets, 9 targets. That's Bo Nix's safety blanket. His has always been. He's also a guy that you can rely on. That's why we used to call him, or we still call him, Mr. Consistent. Now, he has dropped a couple balls.
He has.
You know, and that's – I'm not going to say I'm concerned about it because it happens. But if you target Courtland Sutton a little bit more, maybe then now his confidence kind of gets back to where it's been and we can keep this thing going, or at least try to sustain drives and get more points on that on the scoreboard than what's being put out there. 10 points is not good enough.
No, and if you missed that segment, just to reset it, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but just to reset it so you understand the context of what Phil just said. If you look at the last 5 games for the Broncos, Courtland Sutton's target number starts with a 2, and Troy Franklin's starts with a 4. In the last 5 games, Troy has 41 targets to Sutton's 29. Despite that, Sutton has produced in that same period with getting featured less, 225 yards over the last 5 games. Troy Franklin with, again, 12 more targets over a 5-game sample size. He's looking up at Sutton's 225 with 175 of his own. In the last 5 games, Franklin has been targeted an average of 8 times a game. Like, that's getting up there like a number one receiver, intention. But he's producing just 35 yards a game. It's one of the most disconnected connections between a quarterback and receiver in the NFL right now is Bo Nix and Troy Franklin.
Getting that number one receiver treatment when you're not even receiver 2 yet.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And Sutton, over the last 5 games, has been targeted an average of 6 times per game. And despite 2 less per game than Troy, is averaging 10 more yards per game. So, yeah, I think that's a really good place to start is like, hey, let's not, like my mom used to say this, keep the main thing the main thing. Courtland Sutton is top 10 in team history in catches, yards, and touchdowns. He's smack dab in the middle of his prime. He's coming off maybe his best season, and he's getting featured less? It doesn't quite add up.
No. And then it goes into, like, well, we're getting ready to talk about Bo Nix. Well, Bo Nix is struggling. We all know that. But also, when Bo Nix is not targeting his number one receiver, you're going to struggle. Every quarterback knows that when you start to struggle, go back to the basics like you just got done saying, and get your number one receiver or your number one tight end, whoever that is, more involved to kind of set that tone and settle everything down.
Well, Bo Nix, here's some of the numbers here, raw numbers. All right, his ranks right now, he's 20th in yards per game. Can't look at just total yards because teams have had buys and others haven't. Bo Nix hasn't yet. 20th in yards per game. Completion percentage. This is the one that disturbs me the most. Bo Nix is ranked 35th in completion percentage right now. Newsflash, there's not 35 teams in the NFL. Okay, so that means backups have come in and had a higher completion percentage. His completion percentage, and we heard Colin Cowherd say this last week on Friday, his completion percentage is that actually currently that of a backup. He's at just under 61%. That's not acceptable in today's NFL. Maybe 30 years ago it was. He's 27th in quarterback rating is Bo, and he's 18th in QBR. So he is he's got a long way to go. And this is not about numbers, okay? I'm just trying to frame the context the right way. It's not like he's got to get to top 15 in completion percentage. No. I'm not saying that. It illustrates just how far away he is from not only average, but to where he was a year ago. And that's disturbing me.
Yeah, it's one of these things that even Bo, and he has to be careful with, is because I think we all do it as players. I've done it. The first 2 years of my career, you go for back-to-back 1,000-yard years. The third year, you don't. And so you start to look back at what you were doing before, and you're like, man, I got to go back to what I was doing before. But every year is different. And so for Bo Nix, this isn't 2024. This is the 2025 Denver Broncos. It's a little bit different because, one, you have different players, but two, now all 31 other teams, they have film on you. They know what you like to do. They know your tendencies a little bit more than they did last year. You're not a mystery. So now when you go to work and you're going up against these teams, they know what you're thinking. Now you have to start thinking like them sometimes. Okay, they think I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to set them up.
Yeah, that's where the chess comes into play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where like the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, the Patrick Mahomes, they understand that, and they're smart. The game just comes to them easily because of the preparation they do throughout the week, but trusting their head coach and the offensive coordinator and trusting the players that are around them. And when you're able to do that, now you're playing fast. Now you're able to kind of tweak things on the go, and that's something that Bo Nix needs to learn how to do. And he's young in football terms or as a second-year player, but it's one thing he's going to have to get better at if we're going to make this run in the playoffs.
Well, so we're continuously trying to diagnose, what's going on here. We know the accuracy needs to get improved. We know the footwork needs to improve. Yeah. Like that you don't need to know a lot about, you don't need to have like some like master's degree in quarterbacking or even football to know, like watch Bo Nix and be like, man, that looks chaotic. His feet look chaotic.
It's like he's breakdancing.
It does often look like he's just not comfortable. He's just not comfortable. But when you look at so I gave you some of the raw numbers. When you look at some of the advanced numbers, it paints a similar picture that matches up with not just the raw numbers, but the eye test as well. And I brought success rate up earlier in the season. I forget why, but I really like success rate because every single play in football is different. I gave the analogy maybe 6 weeks ago that like if you run for 2 yards on first down, it's like not good. You run for 2 yards on 4th and 1, holy smokes, people are celebrating and toasting at home because you extended a series, or maybe it's 4th and goal and you're getting into the end zone. So success rate basically just looks at it all depends on context. In sports and in life, it's all about context. But success rate defines it as a play that gains at least 40% of the yards required on first down, 60% of the yards required on second down, and 100% on either third or fourth down. Bo Nix' success rate in the last 5 weeks, don't worry about the number, okay? It's 39. This is the lowest 5-week success rate of his career since the opening 5 games of last season, where he really struggled mightily in front of us for that first month. The most recent 2 games, all right, saw the lowest 2-game success rate of Bo Nix' career, okay? Again, you don't need to know the numbers because I'll frame it with context, but the last 2 games, Bo Nix' success rate, 30%. The league average is over 47%. So
it's the 3 and outs.
It's all that, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse here during the season.
The thing I look at, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out what's really going on with Bo. Like, this can't be the Bo Nix that we know. Like, there's something, like, it must be an imposter or something.
But we don't know him that well. That's the thing.
That is the thing, is that he is young. We truly don't know enough about Bo Nix because he's only in his second year, and this is not his full second year. He's still learning about himself. But one thing that I notice when I'm watching film and watching these games, Zach, is I believe the Denver Broncos are in shotgun way too much.
Yeah.
And shotgun, and I'm trying to explain it in like so everybody understands. And shotgun went with a quarterback, and from what I've heard from like Nick Foles and some of these other quarterbacks, it speeds up the timing, and it's a different type of rhythm that you have to have in the shotgun with your footwork, with the step drops. Because when you're under center, usually you'll do a 5-step drop unless it's going to be a quick game.
Yep.
So you kind of know that. In shotgun, you have to kind of think like, okay, you want to do a 3-step drop because you're already further back. But you actually might take another step back, which may hurt you and mess the timing up. And that's what it looks like with Bo is he's not setting his feet, and he doesn't have the footwork down right now, which is like, what are you doing, Bo? But 2, it's the the connection's not there with someone like Troy Franklin because the timing is just off and because it's the footwork is off. So maybe if you go under center, get the run game going, do a little bit more three-step drops where it's quick game, that can kind of help Bo Nix kind of set him back up for success and kind of settle him down.
Yeah, Dan Orlovsky was touching on this over the weekend, talking about the Broncos offense.
The Broncos offense lead the NFL in penalties. They have 83 penalties offensively. It's been the case the whole season. It's hampered any form of efficiency. In an offense that's not very explosive, it's a problem. Number two, the quarterback's feet are an absolute mess. They have been all season long. The feet look anxious. They look frantic. That has been the story since week one. And the why is maybe attached to they're in the gun when they're throwing the ball 86% of the time. They're in the shotgun way too much. And the reality is its accuracy is really built from the ground up. It's hard to develop accuracy and timing and rhythm when you're in the gun because it's really difficult to marriage the timing of the route or the concept because it's just catch and throw. So they got to fix the penalties. They got to get the quarterback's feet way more settled, and they got to get under center way more.
All right, so he covered a lot of ground there. The penalties we've been talking about for well over a month.
Yeah.
They're the most undisciplined team in professional football. They're averaging 10 flags thrown on them per game. I can't believe a team is 8-2 in the NFL when getting 10 flags on average thrown on them. But yeah, I mean, I knew the Broncos were in shotgun a lot. You just watch the games.
Yeah, you just watch it.
But 86% of the time, I didn't quite realize it was almost 90%. I'm sure some of this has to do with, okay, what did Bo Nix do in college?
Yep.
Right? We're going to make him comfortable. But the NFL has started, and it started last year for Bo, and they have got to, and I don't know if there's a way to do it during the season that can make him comfortable, but
just get under center for a little while. One, for a running back, I know that it's easier to run the ball when you're under center because, one, you're going downhill. It's a different way you run when you're from the shotgun. So for someone like JK, he's having a lot more success under center because he's getting downhill, one cut, get vertical, break a couple tackles. When you're in the shotgun, you're going kind of sideways, and you have to be patient in certain ways when it comes to shotgun plays. So it helps the run game out. It helps the offensive line just get downhill. And for the quarterback, it just kind of takes away the timing of like, okay, we're in shotgun. The timing needs to be sped up a little bit more. You know, like when you're under center, you have to take your 5-step drop to give those receivers the right amount of time. So it just changes things completely, and maybe it's going to help Bo Nix settle him down and calm him down in the pocket.
Man,
I'm not a quarterback coach.
No, but I like it. And, you know, it was around this time last week I was using the analogy that they're building the airplane while it's in the air.
Yeah.
This is just more building. I mean, if we're talking about fundamentally changing the offense's approach and you're doing it in November, I just don't know how this is going to go, if they even attempt to change it. But
well, something has to change.
Something has to change. That's for damn sure. And I would just start with, again, just my own opinion. One, Bo Nix looks like he's freaking out. I mean, he's like frenetic. He is, I continue to say, gripping the steering wheel way too tight.
And my man's about to rip the steering wheel off.
Yeah, he is. He is. And he wants it so bad. And you're in the NFL, and you had some success, and now you're like not able to recreate the success, but at the same time, your coach is telling the world you're on pace to be a top 4, top 5 quarterback. And I don't envy the position. I mean, I envy the paycheck and some of that stuff, but like he is in a pressure cooker right now.
So tell me this. Will there be a case this year, a situation, where Bo Nix continues to look like this, and Sean says, you know what, I don't want to bench you, but I'm going to help you out?
0% chance. Like a literal 0. I mean, Bo would have to be, in my opinion, like acting up and like being like defiant or disrespectful in addition to the lackluster play. Because do you realize, dude, I often use this phrase, swallowing the jagged pill of humility, like getting that jagged pill down. I'm stealing it from, not the quote, but the Jagged Little Pill from Alanis Morissette, an album, I don't know, 30 years ago. But like,
go check it out.
Swallowing the jagged pill of humility, like that's like hard to get down. That's hard to get down. And because you have pride.
No, you're talking for Sean?
I'm talking about it just
or for anybody.
Yeah, just in life.
Yeah.
Like
pride's a hell of a thing.
To get humbled and swallow that jagged pill of humility, it hurts going down. but we all have to do it at a certain point in time. But Sean's pride and Sean's ego and Sean's hubris is such that I do not know that pill has got to be the size of a grapefruit when it comes to Bo Nix, because he has put so much, one, sweat equity into him, draft capital into him, and then just proclamation, declaring to the world what he's going to be. If he pulled him, it would be like pulling himself. It'd be like pulling. I think you could see Sean Payton give up play calling before he pulled Bo Nix.
It's not a hot take Tuesday.
No, but I'm saying, like, what's more likely to happen first? I think it's more likely that Sean's like, you want to know what?
Okay, but
it's not him, it's me.
Okay, but then it comes down to this, because I'm with you. I don't believe Sean's gonna ever do that. But is this about Bo or is this about the team? Because if we were losing games, he may have no choice but to let Bo sit for a second because you're losing games. But because you're able to win because of the defense, you can continue to have Bo go out there and struggle. But at what point do you look at this and say, okay, what is going to help you out? Because obviously what we're doing is not working.
So do you think that needs to happen? Like, are you?
No, I'm not. I think that if it continues to happen, I can see a scenario where it's like, man, we need to settle you down. Because what's the point of him to continue to do what he's doing? It's hurting the team.
So
how many games we got left?
Here's a question. And I'm just going to ask it. I'm not trying to piss anyone off, okay? I'm just going to ask a question. I'm doing sports talk radio. I don't have – a lot of times I'll make a video or something on social media and be like, You're going to jinx it. Guys, I don't have that kind of power, okay? Just talking. What game would the Broncos have lost with Jarrett Stidham that they won with Bo? The first one that comes to my mind is the Giants game.
Yeah, it would have to because of the comeback.
But what he did in the fourth quarter, but someone could rebuff that take and say, well, you would have maybe produced some level of offense in the first three quarters if someone was just a little bit more consistent, a little,
Yeah.
It hasn't been good. I mean, again, I'm not trying to start trouble. I'm just saying, like,
but I'm asking,
and I'm not advocating either for Stidham to play.
No,
because Bo Nix is your guy. You're moving forward with him regardless.
But what I'm saying is, at what point is Sean going to say enough's enough? Because if Sean's putting together these game plans,
right,
and you are having open receivers,
right,
and yet Bo is not connecting with them, then what do you do? Because your defense is going to start looking at you like, what are you doing?
Especially if you start losing.
Exactly. Because it's like, now not only are you wanting us to get all these sacks and these turnovers, now you're telling us we may have to score touchdowns for us to win these games.
Right.
Now, I'm a believer, and I think that Bo's going to get his act together. But if it doesn't happen, because right now it seems like it's not happening, like we have a sample size of how many games? 10?
10, but in addition to what you're saying is, I'll just supplement it by saying it's not only is it not getting better, it's getting worse.
And nothing stays the same.
That's what's so alarming. It's not getting better. It's getting worse in real time. Like, we just got done with watching the worst two-game sequence since his first two games in the NFL. That was last week and the week prior. So, let me say it like this. If you're paying attention and being real and not in a cult and not have some crazy agenda, but if you're paying attention and you're being authentic, is to be concerned. It's concerning. Dante, you got something there behind the glass, dude?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you put any, substance into Colin Cowherd on Friday's show, last Friday here. He was suggesting the idea that Sean Payton could draft the next quarterback or replace Bo Nix. Sean Payton and Colin Cowherd, pretty good buddies at Fox.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any way he's hearing that from within the Broncos building, within Sean Payton's circle at all?
I don't think so. I think that's Colin speculating. Because here's the thing. If you see, the game was Thursday night, okay? Colin said that on Friday morning. So I think he's speculating. But if Sean Payton is on the phone with Colin Cowherd after struggling like that, like, we have mismanaged things. But it's a fair question because Colin knows Sean very well. And this is, let's give context. If you missed our show on Friday, we played it on Friday. This is what Colin said.
I'm dead serious here. Sean Payton is a very impatient guy. He also understands the urgency at quarterback, unlike a lot of coaches in this league. I wonder, because the roster, the O-line set, the D-line set, the pass rush, the receivers, would Sean Payton draft another quarterback? I'm dead serious. Bo Nix has regressed badly. His completion percentage is now towing that backup quarterback line from 66.5 to 60. His passer rating has plummeted, mid-90s to mid-80s. He's going to have more turnovers this year. Again, he is a significantly worse quarterback this year than last. And I understand, quarterback development is not linear. I think it was Peyton Manning who suddenly had a really bad fourth year in the league. I get it. You lose a coordinator, you lose an offensive lineman, but this O-line's great. And we thought with Bo Nix, he was one of these high floor, low ceiling guys. We knew he didn't have like Caleb Williams horsepower, but he was a high floor guy. At worst, he'd be like B-ish. This is D-ish.
He went on to say that I don't think it's crazy that Sean could look back in the draft for a quarterback. That would be, and to Dante's question, like if they're actually communicating and and Sean is relaying some of that, I would hope not. I don't
think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now to think that's impossible would be naive because Sean loves to talk, and Colin's one of his favorites. Colin's one of the biggest stars.
Sean, but we go back to like what Sean has done. Like he's put so much pressure on Bo. He's put so much pressure on himself to get this right. Knowing that this was Sean's first time ever taking a quarterback out of the draft and developing him, it's going to take time. Like that's a fact. So for Sean, he's going to have to, one, trust Bo, trust that Bo's going to get it done at some point, and also Sean's going to have to figure out a way to teach and continue to coach Bo up the right way so that it clicks in his head.
Whew. These are big conversations we're having right in the middle of a season where the Broncos are having the most success they've had in a decade.
8-2.
But to not have the conversation is a disservice to what we're watching, the product. I mean, it is so yin and yang right now. Jekyll and Hyde. Figure out an analogy for yourself. I mean, it's not good and it's not sustainable. And everyone involved in that operation knows it, by the way. That's not just me talking into a microphone. I'm saying what they already know. And you guys know too. Okay. The Broncos, Nuggets, and Avs all have something